What's up, guys? Back with another Miro board video. This is going to be one of the best ones, probably the best video that I've ever recorded. We're going to go into all the sauce. We're going to go into everything. This is essentially all my knowledge from the last 3 years of setting, boiled and bundled up into one Miro board video. So this is going to be a lot of sauce. The only thing that's not in here is outreach or how to get clients, that kind of method. But we got a solution for that, so don't even worry. And I will be making a video on that in a later date. We're going to be going over the whole sales process, how these businesses are run, so you guys understand the ins and outs. Results, so you know that I'm not bullshitting you. Ascension, why 99% of appointment setters stay stuck. My personal framework, which I've shared on my YouTube video before, but you may not have seen. Follow-up sequences, the whole appointment setting blueprint, which you guys will essentially be getting. It's going to be in the link in the description, because this file was so big that, I mean, you could see it didn't even fit. I had to take a screenshot of it. All the messages are blurry, but you will be getting that. It's going to be in the link in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so how do you make 5K and up every single month with appointment setting? It's very simple. The first thing that we need to do is understand what kind of business that we're working in. And really, this is all businesses. This is how they're ran, guys. You've got three elements. You've got your marketing, you've got your sales, and you're either selling a product or a service, right? And so it's important to realize when you're doing this, it can be translated into so many other businesses, right? But for the businesses that we work in, we work with info product companies, or e-learning companies, and this is how they're ran, right? So you've got your top of funnel, you've got your middle of funnel, and then you've got your bottom of funnel. We're going to be focusing right here. This is the whole sales aspect, right? So I've got these all color labeled. Blue is marketing, yellow is sales, and then 3 is fulfillment or product or service, right? So in a setter or an SDR role, you're going to be working in the sales part of the business, right? So this is ultimately going to be the biggest lever in any business whatsoever, right? Because you could have really crap marketing, but if you have really good sales or a really good sales process, you can make money. But if you have really good marketing and you get a lot of eyeballs to your product or your service, but your sales process is just garbage, you're not going to make any money, right? So sales is the biggest lever, and there's obviously two parts of the sales process in these types of businesses, or really in any business, right? You go to like a roofer company, a lawyer, anything, guys. You have setting up the appointment or the sales call, and then you have closing the deal or the sales call itself, right? As an appointment setter, we're focusing on number one, which is setting the actual appointment or the sales call. So essentially, you're handling 50% of the sales process, and you are the first point of human contact within this business, right? So unless you're rebooking someone in with a follow up or you're vetting them after a triage, you won't be. But for 95% of the time, you're going to be the first human point of contact, right? So here's how these businesses work. I'm going to break this down as simply as possible. You've got your top of funnel, and it all starts with marketing, right? So you've got your YouTube, your Instagram, or your TikTok. These are going to be the eyeballs that are going to be on your product, on yourself, and then it goes down the funnel, right? So once they get an eyeball, then they're nurtured with even more content. This is just scrolling through your videos, watching your content. For me, that's like you going through my YouTube videos, you checking out my Instagram, things like that, right? And then you have the engagement part of it, right? You've got an interest keyword, you've got a VSL, you've got an inbound, any sort of sales asset that is used to take these people even further down the line and transition them into the sales process itself. And with a lot of these businesses, sometimes they'll have a low or a mid-ticket product, like let's say like a school community or an ebook. Typically, this is an impulse buy. You don't need a setter, you don't need a closer for this side of it. But when you're working on an ascension, then you can ascend them to book a call and get into one of your higher ticketed programs. But after, let's say, they send some sort of an inbound keyword through Instagram DM, then the conversation would be routed to an appointment setter, and this is where your job is, right? So you're the first point of human contact in the sales process. Then you have that conversation, you transition it into a sales conversation, and then you book them onto the calendar for a sales call or for the closer. right? So you got appointment setter, book a call. Let's say they don't book a call, or they do, but they don't show up. Then you follow up with them, goes back to you as the setter, and then you book them into a call. So it's just like this flywheel, this never ending flywheel, right? And then they have their call with their closer. They either don't close or they close, and then there comes the product or the service and the actual fulfillment of that thing. And let's say they no show to the call, obviously follow up back to you as the setter, book into a call. Once they close, you get a percentage of the deal, and that's how it works, guys. It's super simple. Doesn't need to be more complicated than that. But just need to get that out the way, just so you guys understand what kind of a business that you're working in, how it all works, so you don't get into an operation and you're just like, you look like an idiot, right? You don't want that. You want to seem competent. You want to seem like you're actually intellectual about this sort of stuff, or else they're just going to replace you with another setter, because that's just how things work. Now let's just go into some recent results that I've gotten in the past week. I think this is like 25 to 35K in deals within this past week. As you can see, 997, 2K, 500 deposit, 1K. You guys get the gist, right? We actually do this. Fully booked calendar. This is from March 13th, 2025. So this is very recent. This is literally today. We've got other calendars from, look at that, 2023. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, guys. We've got one of my setters on my team, 5K payment sent to him. This is basically every single month. You guys might have seen the testimonial video that I did with Grant. He's an amazing dude. He's an absolute freaking killer when it comes to this stuff. His first month, he made 4K. Second month, he made 5,500. And like 3, 4, 5 months in, he's making 6K a month, right? So very easy, very possible to do this stuff. We've got some more results. Thanks, Cage, for all you do. Thanks, Cage. Cage, you're my top friend. DJ, this dude's insane. He's closing now, but this is my first full month. 100K. So, depending on what offer you're working in, this is going to translate to 5 to 7K in commissions for that month. And for his very first month, or like first half month, he did around 60K. So you can get right into this stuff and start making money within the first day. Like, it's not hard, right? He's got scripts. We're all sharing value in the Discord. Here's another story with Anna. She just got certified, got a score of 94 on her final. And she's looking to prepare for her interview and her placement with her qualified business owner. Just asking questions on how to prepare. Let's see, this is February 23rd of 2023. A month later, she's finally placed. She went through that whole interview process, going through different businesses, making sure it's the right fit and everything. So that's why it does kind of take a little bit. But once you get through, it's light work from there, right? So she's finally placed. And then 3 days later, she books her very first call. And then day 3 of setting, she books 5 calls. And, she's getting the hang of it. She's setting up the day, whatever. And then, what is this, a month and a half later? Hey, guys, just wanted to share a win and encourage those who may suffer from imposter syndrome. Just kind of helping other guys out in the Discord and in the community. But yeah, there was a point in time where, she wasn't booking a single call for multiple days. And then, she put that grind back in. She was putting the effort back in. She stayed up till 1 in the morning just researching ways to improve her setting and her sales skills. And today she's absolutely slammed in the DMs, and she's booked 20 calls in a single day. That's more than I've ever done. I think my highest was like 14 or 15. 20 calls in a single day is absolutely insane. And I can only imagine how much she made from that single day. We've got more results. We've got Xanthi, who's now on my team working with me now. 750 current base pay, wants to be at 1250. Generated 126 sales calls for 1 month, and generated 22.5K because the closers were newbies, right? Understandable. We've got more payments. We've got a setter making 52K in his first 6 months. And yeah, guys, just to also let you know, I went to university. I didn't go down that whole rabbit hole of I'm dropping out. Well, I did drop out of college, but I came back, right? And so this is possible if you're not in college, but I do just want to let you guys know that I'm a competent person. I know how things kind of work by now, and I'm not just one of these other guys who are like, oh, college dropout, this, blah blah blah, this, that. But guys, I don't use my degree. I do not use my degree. I learned a lot of good soft skills, a lot of good hard skills in college, but I don't use my degree for anything. So you really don't need it, but I'm just here to tell you guys that I- I'm I'm not just one of those other guys, right? I actually did it. More results, blah blah blah. All right. Now, I want to go into why 99% of appointment setters stay stuck because I see this happening a lot. This is a very big problem in the space. You'll have maybe, let's say, a group of 100 setters, 10 of them are going to make money. Let's be honest, right? The other 90%, they're either going to half ass it, they're going to put in some work, but they're eventually going to quit. They're not going to stick with it. The one thing that I've learned from being in business and being in like this online space of making money is that you have to stick to one thing. You can't just be bobbling around with two, three, four different things because then your effort and your focus is split up between four things, right? So let's just do some easy, quick math, right? If you're focusing on one thing, that one thing has 100% of your effort and 100% of your focus. If you're focusing on three different things, then your effort and your focus is 33%, 33%, 33%. And you can't break through with only putting 33% of the effort into that thing, right? You're going to get lapped by competitors. You're going to get lapped by other setters. That's just how it works, right? So if there's one thing that I've learned, focus on one thing. Now, if you're a beginner, that's all right. We all start somewhere. I started somewhere. And yeah, usually these guys are making from anywhere from $0 to $500 a month, or they're not even on an offer, right? So they don't know where to start. They're lost. They're confused. They're afraid to invest because they have this like fear mindset that's holding them back, which is just absolutely insane to me. It's like, dude, if you know you can make money from something, go and invest into something where you can fast track your success. It's as simple as that, guys. They're usually working a 9 to 5. They're probably bad at sales. I know I was terrible at sales. I still really am not the best salesman. Like, you won't see me hopping on closing calls because that's just not my thing, right? And then they're jumping models every month. They're going from drop shipping to Amazon FBA to setting to closing, all these other things. They got the shiny object syndrome is what it's called, right? They see something new, they see somebody doing better than they are, and then they're like, oh, that's the thing. I have to do that. And then they try it, they don't get results, and then they see the new thing, they go back, and it's just this endless cycle, right? And I know this because I was once there. I tried drop shipping. I tried freaking email marketing. I've tried so many different things. Agency, trading, you name it, guys. I've done it. I've tried it, and I stuck with setting because I figured out that if I put my focus into one thing, I can do really good, and that's what I've been doing. So now we're moving on to the good setter, right? They've got on a decent offer. They're okay at sales. They know the basics. Honestly, they're probably on a bad offer, and they're selling kind of a lower ticket, high ticket product, right? 2 to 3K. They're doing mostly outbound leads, which is very hard to do as a setter. Like, a lot of people aren't open to outbound messages. The most money that we make as setters come from inbound keyword leads. That's just how things work. I'm going to tell you straight, if you're on a bad offer that has terrible marketing, you're not going to make a lot of money. That's just the raw reality of it. And they're usually getting anywhere from like 2, 3, 4 sets a day. There's a very bad set to close percentage, most likely because the closers are inexperienced or they're amateurs, and you're just working with a bad team. And these guys are probably working like 8 hours a day, which is kind of sad. Then you've got the expert. This guy's making 5, 10K a month. They're on a great offer. They're an A+ appointment setter by this time. They're booking 10+ calls on some days. They're only working 4 to 5 hours a day because they have their automation set up. They've got their text expander. They've got all their softwares, their Trello sheet. Everything's dialed in. And they also have the opportunity to become a closer because they've been generating so much revenue for the business. They have a happy team. They stack payment plans, so their monthly revenue is going up each month without having to put in more effort. And they're learning higher level systems and they're leveraging those systems. Simple as that. That is the difference from going from beginner to expert. You can make this jump within a month. That's the honest truth. If you get on a good offer and you put in the reps and you know English, then you can do it. It's very simple. Now, the process itself, what you guys have all been waiting for. I've shared this in a video before, but this is still what I do. I've been doing this since late 2022, guys. I got on my first offer in late November of 2022, and then my first month I did 152K deals at like a 5.5% commission. So let's just do the math on that real quick. I've shared this multiple times on my Instagram and stuff, so you guys have probably already seen it, but I made $8,400 my first month setting. I went from beginner to expert very quick. It's not hard. Guys, this isn't rocket science. We're setting appointments. We're not selling. We're not selling a product. You don't have to be good at sales. We're selling the call. That's all it is. Okay? Don't get that confused. Appointment setters, they don't sell the product. They don't sell the program. They sell the call. And then the closer's job is to sell the program. Don't get it confused, guys. So, this is the framework that I use to do 8,400 deals in my first 30 days. I think it was more like 25 days, right? So my first month, I made more like 9K. So let's get right into it. You've got your opener, right? You need a good opener because if you don't, you're going to come across as ingenuine and just like every other bot that's sending mass Instagram DMs, right? So you need a good opener. Look at their profile, do some prospecting, see if they recently went on a trip. Find something that you can make a comment about that's relatable and that's human. That's your first step. Once you do that, then you can go ahead and carry on to the conversation and start building that relationship or rapport building. So, start giving away free value, build a genuine human connection. You're asking open-ending questions that, keeps the conversation going and allows them to open up about their specific situation. And then while you're doing so, these three kind of all go hand in hand. You've got rapport building, you've got your diagnosis, and then you've got your transition. These go hand in hand, right? Because you're digging deep, you're finding the pain points, you're finding their desires, and you're trying to understand if you can actually offer them a solution, right? If you can help these guys. If you can't help them, stop wasting your time. They're not going to buy. Like it's just unethical, right? So make sure that you guys are actually working with integrity and with honesty, because it can really mess up your mindset. And if you're just like a piece of shit human or just a bad person in general, then you'll be okay. But for me, guys, you got to stay ethical. You have to keep a good mindset because that'll go on to your next day. And then let's say you were just being bad and that carries on to the next day, and then you're just thinking about that, and it's not a good feeling, right? So once you've answered or asked all your questions, you've dug deep, you've built the relationship, you have the authority, and you've built trust. Those three things are very important. Then you have your transition. This is going to be transitioning the conversation into a call proposed or just a little pre-pitch. So kind of roughly telling them about your offer and what you've done and how you've helped other people, gauge their interest, and then, go ahead and propose the call. That's essentially it. You free for a time on Wednesday, you free for a time, like you want me to send over the calendar, whatever your script or whatever your style is, that's all it is, right? And then you've got your calendar sent. So this is simply just putting out a link. This honestly doesn't even have to be in here, but I like it, right? Because you need to send the link, right? And then you've got your book call. And if they don't, go ahead and follow up with them. You've got your follow-up sequence. Here's a little framework. So first one, hey, did you ever get a chance to book in? Another one that I kind of like is, did you give up on this? People love to respond and they're like, no, I didn't give up, because then their ego gets in the way and they're like, yeah, I got to prove this guy wrong. All right, so this is a good one. And then also, are you not serious about this? And this is the time frames that I like to use. First one, I usually like to wait 6 to 12 hours after I've sent the calendar and asked them to book in. Second follow-up, around 1 to 2 days. Third, 3 to 4. And then honestly, sometimes I don't even like to do a fourth, but it can be a more long-term thing, right? So you can hit them back up 3 months later and be like, yo, how are things doing? Don't just go back into like, hey, did you book your call? like 3 months later, like it's just not going to make sense, right? So go back into the conversation, look at exactly what you guys have talked about, and then bring up something that you guys talked about in that follow up, right? Because then it just gets the conversation going again. You come across as genuine, whatever. And then I forgot to bring this up, but you obviously have, whoops, you obviously have inbounds and outbounds when you are, sending your opener. This is very important as well. You got mindset, performance as a setter, because as you guys know, you will be working on a percentage commission basis most of the time. For really good setters, you'll have a base pay, or on like very small offers, you will have a base pay. But for very big offers and offers where you have the opportunity to make a lot of money, it's going to be completely performance based. So 100% commission. That's how you're making your money. There's no base. And then you also have the vehicle or the offer that you're working on, right? So for me, when I was starting out, I believed that I was the best. I knew that I was the best setter because I went through my program in the fastest amount of time possible. This is not like me trying to boast or anything. Like, this is the mindset that I knew I needed to have in order to make a lot of money doing this, because it's a performance game and you need to work with high efficiency, right? I destroyed all my self-limiting beliefs. At this point in time, it was actually really rough because I dropped out of college. I was running an e-commerce brand. I was doing 40, 50K a month, and then that whole thing came crashing down. My income went back to zero, and I was in a very poor mindset, right? So I had to flip that. I had to just destroy all those limiting beliefs. That's like, I can't do this with any other business model. Yeah, Cage, you can. You can do it, right? So that's what I was telling myself. If I could do this in one industry, I could translate it and do even better in the next, because, I've gained a lot from the lessons that I've learned and the experience that I went through running that business, right? And then another thing was I was putting an immense pressure on myself. Now, this is probably not good for stress, but whenever I came into the offer that I first started working on, I was the first setter for, I was the first setter ever, DM setter. And there were two closers. So, and as you know, closers are also working on a percentage basis. And so I knew, I was like, dude, like if I don't set these appointments, then my closers are not going to eat. They're going to get pissed off with me. They're not going to be able to feed their families. And so I had I had a really it was pretty stressful, but I had a lot of pressure on myself to actually perform. And this is what helped me push and go even harder. And then obviously have that dog mentality, right? You got to be good. You gotta flip that switch in your mind to where you can go that extra step and go even harder. All right, moving on to performance. These are the core three. You got sleep, exercise, and diet. Guys, if you're not getting at least 8 hours of sleep, you gotta do something. Maybe you're the type of person that only needs 6 or 7 hours of sleep. That's fine. But for the majority of people, 8 hours of sleep, non-negotiable. And then this is another tip. I like to set my room temperature to 69 degrees Fahrenheit because I've done some scientific research, and that is the best temperature for achieving homeostasis and like recovering your body, recovering your mind. So that's a good tip as well. And then stay on a strict schedule, right? So you're going to sleep at the same time every night, you're waking up at the same time every day. Exercise 4 to 3 times a week, or 3 to 4 times a week when you're just starting out. But once you have that momentum going, your body's your temple, your mind's your temple. So 5 to 6 times every week, strengthen your mindset, strengthen your confidence. This is going to help you improve even better when you're setting, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't need to exercise. I don't need this. Dude, I'm telling you guys, exercising and lifting weights, it will only give you even more energy. It will help you boost your confidence. You're actually doing something hard, and it will transform you to enjoy doing things that are hard, which, typing in the messages can get hard. It can. When you're talking to people every day and, some people have a bad attitude, you have to brush it off your shoulder, and you have to have a certain level of confidence, right? Especially when you're selling 25K deals, right? You have to have this like confidence that like, you believe in yourself, you believe in the product that you're selling, and that translate to the prospect. They're able to feel that. They don't smell any car salesman breath on you, and they believe in you too. And then you have diet. I like to use the 80-20 rule. So 80% healthy, 20% whatever else I want to eat. That's just how I like to live in balance, right? Obviously, a healthy body is a healthy mind, and you need a healthy mind in order to perform very well in this space. Lastly, we have vehicle. You guys, you could be the best setter in the world, but if you're working inside a bad business, you won't get results. It's just simple as that. Let's do some quick maths, all right? If you're doing 100K a month at 5% commission, you make 5K. But if you're working in a business that is at a much higher level, and you're able to get an unlimited amount of inbound leads, you can do 300K a month at 5%, and now you're making 3 times the amount that you were when you were only working in a 100K a month business. Guys, work smarter, stop working harder. Okay. I probably should have went over this earlier when I was going over the follow-up framework, but here it is, guys. So you've got your double day before. All right. Make sure that you're confirming the call, making sure that they are going to show up, and you also build a report. Okay. Sometimes you don't have to do this, right? So this is if somebody's booked into the call and they haven't had their sales call yet. And let's say they booked out 3-4 days in advance. This would be 2 days before their sales call. You want to hit them up, make sure that they're still ready, they're not getting cold feet, and just build that relationship even further. Because guys, you might not think this, but just because you booked in a call doesn't mean they're going to close. Even if you left off on the best note possible. People get cold feet. People look at other content online. They're looking at reviews, and everything can sway their mind, right? So make sure that you continue tapping in with that person, continue building that relationship, because the conversation never ends. Even after they close, it never ends. Then you have your day before. You've confirmed the call. You're continuing to build rapport. If no, then wait for a response. You can even tell them like, hey, if I don't get a response back from you, then I'm going to have to give your spot to somebody else. This is pretty good for getting responses, but it's a little on that iffy side, right? And then if you're on an offer where they have a homework video, good, because these help a lot with the whole sales process. Make sure that they watch the homework video or just some pre-call video. If they didn't, go ahead and make sure that they have the link to that video and make sure that they watch it. If they do, awesome, you're on track. And then you have your day of. So I like to separate this out with 2 different follow-ups. One is like 6 hours before, and then the other one's going to be like 20 to 30 minutes before, even 10 minutes before their call. You'll send these, right? So confirm that they're actually going to show up. Make sure that their call is going to be at X time and X time zone, and that they've watched that confirmation or that pre-call homework video. If they haven't, make sure that they go back and actually watch that before their call, because usually they're going to receive some good information about what the call is about. Maybe they're lost and they don't understand like what the call is actually for. Have them watch that, right? And then if your business owner goes an even step further, they'll have like student testimonial videos after that pre-call video. Make sure that they watch at least one of those. But if they don't, that's fine. And then make sure that they watch the interview again. Yes, make sure that you actually send the Zoom link in the chat again. Like in the Instagram DM, send the Zoom link out just to make sure that they have it. Be like, hey, not sure if this got lost in translation or in the email, but here's the Zoom link just in case you lost it. And then obviously you have your 1 hour before, your 30-minute reminder before. And yeah, I would go into the appointment setting blueprint, but the file's just too big, so I'm just going to leave this in the description, guys. But there's so much sauce in here. I mean, this is the whole process. This is literally it. This is what I do. So I just want to give you guys all the sauce for free, just so you guys know exactly how you do it. And then we also have this 30-page document, which is literally this, but in writing form, right? So you'll learn everything that you need to know about appointment setting. And then on top of this, you'll learn the process itself, if it's not all covered in this, which I go pretty into depth on this one, but this is just like the icing on the cake, right? So that's going to be in the link in description. And then lastly, guys, if you are looking for more hands-on help, if you're struggling with outreach and trying to get like a good client, then this is going to be the thing for you, because this is what I do. This is how I provide value to you guys. And then this is also business as well. This is like my part of a part of my business, right? So this is the whole Setter Syndicate process. This is how I've transformed Grant into making less than $2,000 a month. I think he was doing like $1,500 a month with his 9 to 5. This is how I've helped Xanthi in the Philippines go from $500 a month to 3K plus. And this is what we do, right? So you've got you get into the program, you take the course, you go through all the training modules. This is your phase 1, right? And then we also have one-on-one calls where I support you, I help you train, and then you also have you're also sending your notes into me just to make sure that I know that you understand what you're actually talking about and what you're learning. If I think that you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to make you redo that training module, send me in some better notes, and then we can get you onto that next training module. And this is going to last anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. You're just learning. You're learning the foundations. You're learning the basics. And then you have the next step, which is phase 2. Phase 2 is all about submitting your final notes and doing 4 final role plays, right? So you have to pass these role plays in order for me to take you to the next step of certification and getting you onto an offer. Because guys, I'm putting my neck on the line for you guys. These are my clients. The offers that we're working on, these are my clients. So if I'm putting a setter into their business and they don't perform well, then my neck's on the line and I look like an idiot, right? So that's the whole thing. I want you guys to learn this stuff. I want you to put in the actual reps, which is just doing role plays with either me or another coach that's in the program. And then you have phase 3, which is you get certified once you receive B pluses or higher on all these. And then you've got your interviews and you've got placement. Simple as that. We'll set you up with a qualified business owner who's already doing a lot of money. They have a proven process that works. And we know setters are able to make a good income. It's not just a garbage offer with no inbounds and you're only doing outbound work. This is, businesses and pages that are, have a lot of leads coming in. They have their marketing dialed in. And it's an opportunity where you can actually make a long-lasting income, right? And then you've got your hire, and then phase 4, scaling to 5 to 10K a month. So after you get placed, then I continue to support you because I'll be literally directly managing you and walking you through literally everything. So we'll hop on calls every week, me running through your chats. If you said something wrong here, I'll be like, okay, like I wouldn't have said that. I may have went down this other route, and you guys will be able to like get an inside look on my thought process and how I would do things differently. And then you'll be able to learn with expert feedback. Because guys, if you're just doing work, you're just doing work. But if you're working with actual feedback, then you'll know how to improve. And it's like a flywheel, right? So let's say you put in 100 reps. So you have 100 different conversations, and let's say you book in 4. Let's say this is your first time setting. You talk to 100 people, you book in 4 calls. You're like, man, like I did a lot of work only for those 4 calls. And then we get feedback, right? So I personally tell you, I'm like, well, the reason why 10 of these people that you could have booked in, but that didn't, is because of X, Y, and Z. Now, you know how to go back, how to have 100 more conversations, and then turn this into 14. And then we'll go back, we'll reiterate, you'll learn, and then you'll do it again. And then you'll make even more money. And that's how it works, guys. So that is pretty much everything A to Z. The only thing that's not included in here is like how to go out and get your own offers, which is pretty self-explanatory, guys. Record a Loom video, be presentable, make an offer. Don't talk about any other thing other than appointment setting if you're trying to get an appointment setting role. I had this one DM the other day that I was looking over, and it was a Loom video of a guy applying to be a setter, but he was talking about doing marketing agency and doing sports betting and all this stuff. So, guys, if you're going to apply for a position, talk about how you can provide value for that business in that position, right? Don't just talk about some other crap, right? So it's very simple. Loom video, introduction of yourself, what you've done in the past, how you can help the business, the problem, maybe a problem that they're facing right now, and ask for a call. That's it. Obviously, I'll go into that more into depth on the next video. But for now, this is just focusing on the whole process itself. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want these two huge documents, I will be putting a link in the description. But yeah, if you're watching till the end, guys, I appreciate you, man. Like, I know I don't get a lot of views on these videos, but I try to make as much impact as I can. Like, I understand that 50 people watching my video is insane. That is a classroom, that is a lecture room full of people watching my video, and that just makes me insanely proud and insanely happy with the support that I'm getting from you guys. So thank you guys very much, and until the next time, I'm out.